afternoon, everyone. I'm McCulley. I'm the Service Manager at Falkirk Council Employment and Training Unit. I was asked last minute on Friday if I could present something, so my slides are certainly not as glamorous as Kate's were. However, I'm going to talk you through some of the work that we have done over recent years with some of the target groups, and potentially we see we could make some development links moving forward. So Falkirk Council has attracted a number of participants that would have been recognised as being within the local and national priority groups. We are the only local authority area where the three local authorities join together to deliver Fair Start Scotland, so that has opened up a much wider range of participants coming through the door, and therefore a number of the priority groups approaching us for support. We also have ESF contracts, and in the Falkirk area we have delivered on project search in conjunction with NHS and Serco, so again another area of priority. We've built more and more into our supported employment offer over the years, and all of this combined, integrated and aligned, contributes effectively to a more person-centred, flexible and responsive service. Okay, so I've put a bit up here about engagement. As you can see from this tends to be the traditional routes of engagement and referral for participants. However, when we're looking at the PES service, there will be opportunity and resource to better plan our marketing, stakeholder and engagement strategy to ensure that it's being rolled out across our local level and not just being driven by the bigger organisations like DWP and SDS, as you can see up here. We've also recently, through the No One Left Behind funding, built data links through our Schools Transitions programme, and through that we're hoping to be able to link up with the parents similarly in a holistic way, as Pete was talking about a minute ago. We have a number of schools who provide support to young people with additional support needs, and some of the parents involved there also have disabilities themselves. So we're engaging at a greater level with those individuals through those schools programmes locally as well. But probably the area of most development for us moving forward will be through the community groups and the third sector support services. Third sector support services primarily have supported the intervention delivery locally, and really we want to be understanding that they can actually be a referral source themselves moving forward. So, it's been clearly evidenced that many parents work in the lower paid industries. We've talked about some of our documents that we have in our pack talks about the 5C industries of cleaning, catering, caring, cashiering and clerical. However, Falkirk Council has been facilitating for a number of years second chance apprenticeships utilising the Falkirk Jobs programme. This has enabled individuals to learn skills while they are working and also while they are gaining a good level of income. The type of programmes that have been traditionally popular with those target group areas have been the early years areas, health and social care, business admin, customer service. And we work closely with Falkirk Council to establish the training and the work experience opportunities, but also opportunities of employment when people come to the end of those training opportunities. We've chatted a wee bit earlier about the 1140 increased childcare demand that will continue to be a key priority for a number of local authority areas, and we have an opportunity here to capitalise on that for the PES funding moving forward and look at how we can create links between current job opportunities that individuals are in where they're experiencing poverty, and potentially linking up with this type of model to fulfil the needs of the increased childcare workers locally. I've put public and private sector down there, and the reason I've done this is because there's been a number of a number of surprises through the delivery of Fair Start Scotland, and we were just talking about it at our table a minute ago, where individuals that we would always assume would be better working in a public sector job for a specific amount of hours, with all that security, we have actually had a number of people that have wanted to work in private sector because it's more local for them and they prefer to work more locally, or because they have a health issue and it's actually easier for them to work in a more flexible way and on a more flexible contract. So echoing what Robert was saying earlier around the flexibility elements is essential. So we can't just keep on looking at things in a way where everything is established in these certain hours and certain patterns. We need to be making sure that we're making the changing needs of individuals when we're delivering these types of programmes. So the early years workers, why does this work for some of the participants? Well, we have two levels and qualifications that people can gain. We've had a number of individuals where the level 3 qualification hasn't quite been right for them, but they can still do level 2s in play work and have a fulfilling career that they can then look at progressing once they have that competent skill and knowledge area. So that works for individuals because the pressure's not there that they have to gain a qualification at a specific level before they even get the opportunity of walking in the door. So it's less intimidating for some participants. Obviously there's term time opportunities, and with that it has its benefits but it also has its flaws as well. But some people are really interested in that as an opportunity to meet their childcare needs. I've talked about the increasing industry demands, so that means there's more opportunities arising there. There's a variety of provision through local authority and private sector opportunities, and given we were talking earlier about the changing need of childcare and the way that it's delivered moving forward, that sector may well start to adapt and change to meet those needs, and therefore that job role could become even more flexible than it is already. Obviously, support to gain the qualification on the job and the ongoing support that we provide means that there's a higher likelihood that people get through to the end of that and then sustain employment in the job that they're completing their work experience, or we link them into other opportunities within the local authority or other private sectors, potentially private sector that we've already vetted and have positive experiences from. And some people like to use their own employer for their childcare provider, if they haven't had their children in childcare before. The health and social care sector is obviously an expanding sector, and we've had a number of individuals who have progressed into this sector. We had a single father recently that moved into health and social care. He attempted to go back to manufacturing after experiencing mental health issues and a bit of family breakdown, and he only coped for 2 days and couldn't manage it. So we worked with him for a bit longer, building his confidence and looking at other sectors that he may be interested in. And we talked to him about an open day at Kingdom Care, and he's progressed into a job with them. He finds it really rewarding, and he's recently done a video case study for us because he's getting on so well, and it just shows you the difference of the guy who couldn't hold down a job for more than 2 days to sit in front of a camera and tell you all about his positive experience. There's plenty of opportunity in the health and social care sector for overtime. In fact, you can't do enough hours out in the health and social care sector at the moment. So that gives people a level of flexibility about how much or how little. There's certainly plenty of opportunity for minimum hour contracts in that sector at the moment. There's a variety of local authority, private and third sector opportunities out there, and some people prefer working for the third sector. They feel it's more a family orientated environment. However, there's plenty of local authority opportunities in the private sector out there as well. Again, these opportunities, individuals have been supported from the minute they walk through the door. They get all their support with regards to, I like to say barrier reduction rather than barrier removal, because there's certainly a number of barriers that we, no matter what we do, could actually take away from an individual, but we certainly try to reduce those barriers. So given that ongoing support to overcome those barriers and progress into these opportunities and to continue supporting that individual right to the end makes a huge difference. There's obviously financial support when we're looking at things like travel and expenses and transitional payments, and also we can get PVG and the SSSC registration. Obviously that applies for childcare as well, but I don't want to put the same stuff in every single slide for us. The health and social care sector has many opportunities for progression. We've had a number of individuals that have went in with not the greatest levels of confidence, have given it a bash, and they have been promoted into supervisor levels within a year and 18 months. So there's loads of opportunity there because it's an expanding sector. Business admin and customer service is another area that a lot of our individuals have been interested in. Again, we work with local authority to be able to place individuals in these opportunities, and whether they stay within those departments or whether they potentially progress into other departments within the council. So they might be in social work and progress to procurement. There's still opportunities within the local authority for them. The qualifications here are quite versatile. They can pick up a number of different parts of the qualification depending on what department of the council that they're in. So that means that it makes both their needs and the need of the department they're working for. There's plenty of opportunities for progression, either from department to department to gain a broader range of knowledge, or actually progression from those opportunities. In Falkirk Council ourselves, we've had a number of individuals that have undertaken this training, and now they're sitting in managerial positions so many years later, so it's always good to see that. There's obviously the living wage element of working for the council, and there's more flexible and better terms and conditions, particularly in these areas. But one of the biggest things is there's less of a physical demand for those parents who have disabilities, that they've been able to work with their key worker and potentially work with access to work in some situations, so that they can make reasonable adjustments to their environment and their surroundings, and to successfully undertake that role. So the additional support, I think everybody's already chatted about these areas, and I don't think that any of us are not in agreement that we need to make sure that we are giving individuals childcare advice and guidance, looking at the financial planning and the better off in work calculations. We have opportunities through occupational health and working in partnership with NHS through Fair Start Scotland to be able to do health and wellbeing assessments that can contribute to understanding better the needs of an individual when they're in a particular role. We have personal development and one-to-one and group sessions, as you would imagine, lots of employability advice and guidance going on there, and referral to specialist support opportunities. I think one of the most rewarding things is we talk about the different outcomes that are achieved, and Pamela was saying earlier, it's not always about those hard outcomes, it's about the quality, the delivery and the impact on the individual. So I thought it was important to highlight that these opportunities in the past have increased all the things that we've seen potentially in the PES proposals already around household income, qualifications gained, employment opportunities and progression routes. But the thing that really hits home to our staff potentially, and that really makes a difference with regards to sustaining that opportunity moving forward, is that individuals have better knowledge about what's available to them and where to get the support if they require it moving forward. It's about empowering them to do that for themselves, so they don't need to be routed through gateways and front doors and organisations. The self-work, pride, confidence and opportunities that people can gain through their experiences is just phenomenal. And the positive relationships, which we touched on slightly earlier around peer support and how important that is for individuals to sustain in these opportunities as well, and have those positive role models and influences to encourage them to progress when they're thinking, should I not go for somebody? They need somebody there to say, yes, I think you're good enough, go for it. So these relationships are particularly important to those that have maybe been a bit isolated before they gain the support. And overall, we're looking at better health and wellbeing, even for those that have ongoing health conditions and disabilities, to be feeling much more positive about yourself and have an increase in opportunities, social networks and relationships. Your health and wellbeing is going to continue to improve. I had a whole bit to conclude on, but seeing as I'm getting a nod from the corner, I'll just say any questions at that point.